The sky is the limit. There's no stopping XRP. We are moments away from spot ETFs being approved. There's a lot of new information coming out about the CEO of Evernorth and what their plans to do with XRP. We also have a ton of new updates about the DTCC listings. We also are going to hear from BlackRock on stablecoins. We're going to mix it in with some other XRP related news. And Brad Garlinghouse was seen with Bo, sitting next to Bo Hines at a huge dinner about crypto and AI with the most influential people here in the United States. What that's about to tell you, let's just jump right in here with Ashish Burler, the CEO of Evernorth, and Tony Edward.
You mentioned the demand for XRP. We've seen a lot of spot ETF filings still on the table, waiting for the SEC to take action. In addition, you had XRP futures go live on the CME and so forth. And there's been a lot of institutional demand. So I think it's like perfect timing that you guys are launching this digital asset treasury company focused on XRP, because how things have changed, Ashish. I mean, obviously the SEC Ripple lawsuit has concluded after, years of going back and forth. But, the sun is shining down now on us and the dark clouds have gone away and there's a lot of demand for this asset.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a new day, Tony. Like it definitely feels like, we started off as infants in this industry and now we're, becoming adults. And, I'm happy to be a part of the adult movement in digital assets. And part of that adult movement is getting institutions to adopt. I don't think this ecosystem, I don't think cryptocurrencies will flourish until there is broad-based adoption by institutions out there. And again, Evernorth is one tool to help get institutional adoption, making it easier to participate in the crypto economy, making it easier to participate in this financial future that will be built on blockchains. But there's going to be other tools that we need. We talked about regulation and the right kind of legislation, but we need more tools around there. ETFs being a great one, CME futures, trading XRP, another great tool. And again, this is all part of the adult growing up process that the whole industry is now participating in. Thankfully.
This took a weird turn. We went from infants to adults and we're all adults and I don't know what's going on here, but listen, I'm going to tell you, we have these digital asset treasuries that are starting to expand in the XRP space. That is putting pressure on other companies, banks, institutions, corporates, whatever you want to call them, to do something very similar, to have their own strategies around XRP and other digital assets. That is going to be a booming business all on its own. You start to throw in the institutional demand for ETFs. That's going to provide a ton of liquidity. That's going to reduce the circulating supply. You throw in the DeFi layers being built on the XRP ledger and the EVM sidechain and all the developers building out the future products for borrowing and lending and everything else and tokenization. You start to realize there's not a lot of XRP left on exchanges. What happens when you have all of this demand starting at once? You have regulation coming in and then you start to have the asset being used for its full utility. That is what we're waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. All of these things are coming to a head at the same time. And so you ask me, Sensei, where do you think the price of XRP is going to be? I know it's not going to be the same price in a month, a year from now, or 5 years from now. I can tell you, once we reach that utility point, the speculation will be done. And so I am trying to accumulate as much XRP as I can. If it goes down, if there's another crash, I'll keep buying until we reach a point where I'm like, maybe I should buy something else. At this point, I'm going to keep supporting the XRP community. This is my biggest holding in asset class, and I'm so excited for my future and, of course, for your future.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I read you guys are raising $1 billion to buy XRP, of course. Is that a cap, or in the future you may raise additional capital? And who are the folks who have participated so far in the capital?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, we'll stay active out there.
I bet.
We don't have any plans to stop. And so we'll, as soon as the transaction is closed, we'll again look at additional opportunities. But the idea is not to stop at $1 billion in, treasury. And I'm happy, Tony, to be supported by world-class investors. And one thing that we do want to do is expand internationally. You may know that XRP is widely popular in Korea and in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And having SBI, participate in Evernorth's, financing is going to potentially help unlock those Asian markets for us as well. So that post-close transaction, looking to those kinds of expansion opportunities, is going to be a high priority for the Evernorth team. And again, we're lucky to have world-class investors from SBI, Ripple, Arrington, XRP Capital, and several others join us in this journey.
Sounds like they're going to, it sounds like they're going to be expanding into other markets. You heard South Korea, you heard Japan. I would imagine it's going to be a list of other countries. They said that 1 billion there is not where they're going to stop. I'd imagine could go to 5, 10. I would imagine the sky is the limit for what they're trying to do. And I think this is going to be great for demand for XRP.